The haunting of Jazirat Al Hamra, a tale of the forgotten island, is in the heart of the Arabian Gulf. Nestled between the shores of the UAE and the vast expanse of the sea, there lies a small, mysterious island called Jazirat Al Hamra. Its name translates to the Island of the Red Island, but the color of its sand is not the only thing that has earned it this chilling name. The island has a long and eerie history, one steeped in abandonment, ghostly apparitions, and a curse that has haunted its shores for centuries. This is the story of that island, of those who were lost, and of the evil that still resides there. Jazirat Al Hamra, once a thriving community of fishermen, pearl divers, and traders, is now a ghost town, stripped of life and shrouded in mystery. It was established centuries ago, its history intertwined with the early days of the Arabian Peninsula's rich maritime traditions. The island was home to the Al-Zab tribe, known for their boat-building skills and their mastery of the sea. They built a modest settlement on the island's shore, living off the fruits of the sea and the land, unaware that their peaceful existence was about to be shattered. As the years passed, the island saw its fair share of challenges: piracy, raids from rival tribes, and even plagues that swept through the region. However, the most devastating blow came in the early 20th century, when the discovery of oil in the UAE brought new wealth and attention to the region. As modern cities rose up along the coast, many residents of Jazirat Al Hamra were drawn to the prosperity of the mainland, leaving behind their ancestral homes and the once thriving village. Slowly but surely, the settlement became a ghost town. What was once a vibrant community was now abandoned, and the island fell into obscurity. It wasn't long before strange things began happening on Jazirat Al Hamra. The few people who dared to return to the island, drawn by its decaying beauty and the haunting silence, reported unsettling experiences. The air on the island was thick with an oppressive weight, as if something ancient and malevolent was watching them. At night, the wind would howl through the empty streets, carrying with it whispers that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The ruins of homes, once full of life, stood like empty shells, their walls cracked and crumbling, yet still bearing the faintest traces of the lives that once inhabited them. Local legends began to emerge. One of the most prevalent stories was that the island had been cursed by a vengeful spirit. The tale went that, during the final days of the settlement, a group of fishermen had ventured out to sea, hoping to catch enough fish to sustain the community. They returned after several days, their boats mysteriously overturned, their catch missing. But when they returned to the village, they found that everything had changed. The people they once knew had disappeared, leaving behind nothing but remnants of their lives, clothing, tools, and personal belongings. It was as if the entire village had vanished overnight. Desperate to understand the cause of this strange occurrence, the villagers sought the help of a local mystic, a woman known for her ability to commune with spirits. She revealed that the island had been cursed by an ancient Jinn, a malevolent entity that had been angered by the actions of the fishermen. The Jinn, enraged by the greed of the fishermen, had taken their souls and placed a curse on the island, ensuring that anyone who set foot there would be tormented for eternity. In the 1960s, a young archaeologist named Amir al-Farsi heard whispers of Jazirat Al Hamra and its forgotten past. Fascinated by the stories of the abandoned island, he decided to investigate the place for himself. Armed with his curiosity and a small team of researchers, Amir set sail to the island, eager to uncover its hidden history. What he found would haunt him for the rest of his life. Upon arriving, Amir and his team were struck by the eerie silence of the island. The air was still, and the only sound was the occasional rustle of wind through the palm trees. As they made their way through the crumbling ruins of the village, they discovered remnants of an old mosque, the foundation of homes, and what appeared to be an ancient burial ground. It was clear that the island had once been a thriving community, but now it was nothing more than a desolate ghost town. The team began to document their findings, unaware of the danger that was about to unfold. It wasn't long before they began to experience strange phenomena. At night, the researchers reported hearing footsteps echoing through the abandoned streets, but when they went to investigate, no one was there. Some claimed to have seen shadowy figures moving between the ruins, their forms indistinct and fleeting. And worse yet, some began to experience vivid nightmares, dreams of drowning, of being trapped beneath the waves, or of being pursued by an unseen force. One night, Amir wandered alone through the village, drawn by a sense of unease. As he walked past the ruins of a once grand house, he felt something cold brush against his neck. He turned quickly, but no one was there. Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw it, a dark figure standing at the edge of the village, staring directly at him. The figure was tall, shrouded in shadows, with eyes that seemed to glow with an unnatural light. Amir froze in place, his heart racing, unable to look away. Suddenly, the figure vanished, leaving Amir standing alone in the dark. The air around him felt thick and suffocating, and he could taste the metallic tang of fear on his tongue. Terrified, he hurried back to his camp, where the rest of the team had gathered. But when he arrived, he found that his colleagues were not where they had been. Their tents were empty, their equipment scattered as if they had been hastily abandoned. Panicked, Amir called out for his team, but there was no answer. He searched the entire island, but it was as if they had vanished into thin air. In the distance, he thought he saw figures moving between the ruins, but when he approached, there was no one there. The silence was deafening. As the days passed, Amir began to uncover the true nature of the island's curse. He found old texts hidden beneath the floorboards of an abandoned house, written in a language he couldn't understand but which seemed familiar. Through a series of translations and the help of a local scholar, Amir learned of the Jinn's wrath. The curse that had been placed on the island was not just the result of greed but of a terrible betrayal. The fishermen had not only angered the Jinn but had violated a sacred pact made by their ancestors. In doing so, they had condemned themselves and anyone who set foot on the island to suffer the same fate, an eternal torment of isolation and despair. Amir's research led him to the realization that the Jinn was not just a malevolent spirit but a guardian of the island. The fishermen had disturbed an ancient resting place, and the Jinn was sworn to protect it from all who dared to intrude. Those who had vanished from the island were not dead, but trapped in a liminal space between life and death, cursed to wander the ruins for eternity. It was then that Amir discovered the chilling truth: he was not alone on the island. The spirits of the lost villagers were still there, their souls bound to the cursed land. And the Jinn was watching, waiting for Amir to make the same mistake as the fishermen before him. Desperate to escape, Amir tried to leave the island, but the Jinn's power was too strong. The winds turned violent, and the sea became treacherous. The island seemed to warp and shift, its once familiar layout changing before his eyes. He tried to call for help, but no one would answer. The island had become a prison, and Amir was trapped within its cursed boundaries. As night fell, Amir returned to the village ruins one last time, determined to confront the Jinn. He entered the old mosque, hoping to find some way to break the curse. Inside, he found a dark altar, covered in strange symbols and etched with the names of those who had fallen victim to the curse. It was here that the villagers had made their final pact with the Jinn, sealing their fate. In that moment, Amir understood that there was no escaping the island. The Jinn had claimed him as one of its own, just as it had claimed the others before him. And so, as the wind howled and the shadows closed in around him, Amir's voice was swallowed by the darkness, and he became yet another lost soul, forever bound to the haunted shores of Jazirat Al Hamra. Today, Jazirat Al Hamra remains abandoned, a silent testament to the horrors that transpired there. Those who venture near the island report hearing strange noises, seeing fleeting shadows, and feeling a presence watching them from the dark. Some say that the Jinn still roams the island, guarding its secrets and ensuring that no one leaves. The island stands as a warning to all who dare to disturb the past, a reminder that some places are best left forgotten. For the cursed souls of Jazirat Al Hamra are waiting, and their whispers still echo across the waters, telling the tale of a forgotten island, its haunted history, and the eternal torment that awaits those who seek to uncover its secrets. And the curse of Jazirat Al Hamra lives on.